Hey, it's me, Rod Morgan, longtime listener and semi-professional host of the Morganino Podcast, a pop culture, music, and entertainment podcast on the Morganino Podcast Network. Listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. Podcasts?
Yeah, we know podcast listeners. We never do this. Rod, you and I are coming back the day after to do a little intro to the show because there is some huge news that has come out since we stopped taping.
You're talking about Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin fighting at WrestleMania, right? That's the big news you're talking about?
No, Alexa Bliss has been added as the mystery opponent in the Elimination Chamber. I was right. I picked Alexa Bliss to win it.
Well, the listeners
don't
know that you've done that yet. Jimmy does correctly predict Alexa Bliss later in this podcast.
I know, and that's why we're talking about it now. I'm so excited about that. So anyway, just enjoy the rest of the show. No, everybody, listen, huge news today. We recorded during Raw last night, and a couple things have happened since then. Obviously, yes, Alexa Bliss was named as the mystery opponent. Not too big. As Kevin Owens was talking last night about how horrible Texas was, I made an offhanded comment to Rod saying, well, it looks like he's going to get a stunner or a tombstone. It may be, Rod, and I'm bearing the lead. Don't worry, I'm bearing the lead. It may be we actually have a match between Kevin Owens and Steve Austin at WrestleMania. They've reached out to him. It's been 19 years since Austin was last in a WrestleMania, wrestled a wrestling match. They want to sell tickets in Texas. This is a pretty good way to do it, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on this podcast constantly screaming for The Rock to show back up, but I'd imagine you might even get some more butts and seats in Texas with the Rattlesnake than even the People's Champ. So, I mean, this is absolutely huge. Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of the guys that sort of got me back into wrestling. We've kind of gone over the story here on the podcast at different times. I was, of course, a fan of wrestling as a kid, as most of us are. Went away from it a little bit, came back to it in the Monday Night Wars era, and Stone Cold Steve Austin was appointment viewing for me. So I understand that he is advanced in age and he has some serious neck problems, but if we can get the Rattlesnake in the ring, I'm all for it.
And now, the big news of the day.
This news is crazy. You're going to have to help me out on this.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is not re-signing with AEW, a company, Rod, he basically founded. Cody Rhodes is a free agent. He released a statement today thanking AEW for everything. Brandy Rhodes, his wife, who did a lot of stuff behind the scenes with AEW and was an on-air character as well, she released a statement thanking them. Tony Khan released a statement thanking them. Rod, Cody Rhodes is a free agent, and if he's not re-signing with AEW, he's going to go to WWE. And this is the first big name to go from AEW to WWE. Cannot believe this. I would have guessed about 1,000 people before him. AEW lost Cody Rhodes today.
And we have a little bit of a AEW back and forth later in the podcast as well, and I take one of my pot shots at the AEW fans, but now I feel sort of bad about that because I would imagine AEW fans are a little bit bummed out about this. I gotta figure that Cody Rhodes being an EVP is the driving force behind a lot of these great decisions that AEW has made to rise them like a rocket ship to the point that they're at right now, and I would be a little bit worried if I was an AEW fan that Tony Khan might be falling into Vince McMahon syndrome here. Basically, what we spend the whole rest of this podcast complaining about may be starting to happen to the AEW squad. I hear that Tony Khan might be getting a little power hungry, a little too big for his britches, thinking he knows the wrestling business, and maybe Cody didn't like that.
Or he was a free agent, and the WWE came to him and said, "Hey, Cody, here's $3.5 million, because we're $1 billion company right now.
Which you talk about later in the podcast.
Why don't you come on over here?" I think, and people, and listen, I don't know. I don't think they're going to do this right, okay? But he's not going to be Stardust in 2 weeks, okay? I think that you are going to bring in somebody who made a name for himself on the indies, made a name for himself, creating a competitor for you. This is a huge signing. They're going to bring him in with a lot of fanfare. He needs to go right to the top, and he really does need to be in main event feuds. He really does.
So he's going to the WWE to wrestle, because now you watch way more AEW than I do. but I haven't seen Cody Rhodes wrestle very often in all of my times going over to AEW. He seemed to be just more of a shot caller, a Bischoff type, an Adam Pearce type. So you say he's coming to the WWE to wrestle and be a main event superstar and not necessarily a WWE official who's running a show?
Oh, he's definitely going to be a wrestler. So the past couple of months, he's had a lot going on. They've had Roads to the Top, which is his reality show.
Because every wrestler has to get a garbage reality show deal from a network that has a wrestling show. I mean, how many of these have we seen?
It has to be done. But he's been without a contract here for a little while. He had his final match a few weeks ago, I believe. And then, it's like, he actually legit had some personal stuff he had to take care of, I guess, and he coming back, and they just didn't come to an agreement on that. So Cody Rhodes leaves WWE. People think he's not going to be anything. He then just has this huge indie following, and an offhanded comment by Dave Meltzer saying, I don't think that, no one can get 10,000, I'll bet him $1 that no one can get 10,000 people for an indie show. And Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, did All In Chicago. They got that number, and that kind of started the thinking of Tony Khan that this can happen. Tony Khan, they brought him in as an investor, yada, yada, yada. AEW was formed with Cody, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega being executive vice presidents. This is huge. I think, from what I've heard, because I don't know them personally, but everything is, they've been real close. Everything's fine. It's just, business is business. And if someone comes to you and says, I'm going to give you this amount of money, and maybe Cody had this, whole no cut contract or something like that, who knows? But I would say that the downside guarantee has got to be pretty high on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically we're seeing in wrestling here with just like every other professional sport, right? I mean, whoever has the biggest bag usually ends up winning. And as you discuss later in this podcast, Vince McMahon and the WWE, as much as we complain about them creatively, they are winning financially. So he certainly has a big bag that he can offer Cody Rhodes. My only question to you, Jim, is this, okay? Mm-hmm. You spend so much time talking about how people in the WWE get misused, they get mistreated, we talk about from time to time. Cody Rhodes clearly was a bit of a shot caller where he just came from. Do you really believe he is coming over to WWE to be completely run? Do you think there's any kind of language that might be able to be put in this contract that this dude has more say than your average wrestler?
First of all, we don't know he's going to WWE. He's going to WWE, though. It could be like a 5-match deal, and he just wants to see how it goes. And after those 5 matches, if something doesn't happen right, maybe he walks away and goes back to 8. Who knows what could happen here? Listen, everything changes in WWE all the time. Vince McMahon sees people as he's always seen them. When Johnny Drip Drip came back, put him right with The Miz, because that's where he was a decade ago. So it worries me a little bit on what they're going to do with him, and we'll find out very quickly. Very quickly.
Do you think we're going to see him on Friday?
No. Well, I think Friday's already been taped because they're going to go to Saudi Arabia. So Friday's been taped. Okay. We're not going to see him in Saudi Arabia. I don't think so.
That's tough travel for somebody. You know what I mean? Just to be able to get to Saudi Arabia right now. There's still some COVID concerns in the world. So to be able to hop on a plane and get there when you weren't expected, that's probably pretty tough.
Yeah.
WrestleMania for sure, right? We got to see him before WrestleMania. And there's going to be some sort of story leading to WrestleMania. No.
Well, people who needs matches. AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes would be a fantastic WrestleMania match.
Oh, wow.
Edge and Cody Rhodes would be kind of an old school, but,
Yeah, because let's save the Edge from having to fight Miz again at WrestleMania, please.
Well, and here's the thing. If Miz comes out when Cody Rhodes is talking and Miz is the first person, it's over. It's over. And I have a very sneaking suspicion that might be it, and that would suck. I'm sorry. That would be a horrendous opponent for him at anything. WrestleMania. Oh, they could do the whole white. Oh, goodness. They could. Yeah. Don't be Miz. Anyone but Miz.
But that's what they're going to do. It's going to be like the battle of the reality shows, right? Miz and Mrs. are going to brag that their show's way better than Roads to the Top. And come on, that's what we're going to see. You have no confidence that Vince McMahon is going to be able to make this thing be a boom for WWE. So that's why I'm amazed that you are so pumped about this news. Knowing you as well as I do, you know full well that this thing's going to be botched in 4 months.
The only saving grace is this is the one person going from AEW to WWE that's big.
Yes.
And they want to show that you can come over and you can get treated right, get paid a lot of money, and be happy in WWE as well.
That's a good point. That's a definitely good point. I hope that Vince understands that this is something he needs to do, right? We so often talk about how the boss man does what the boss man wants to do and doesn't worry about the repercussions. But I think he needs to be thinking about the future health of his business here. And you're absolutely right. He needs to show that it is possible to come from AEW to WWE and still be like you're at a playground, because that's clearly why all these guys leave WWE and go to AEW, because they feel that AEW is more of a playground for their artistic talents.
Exactly. So a lot of big news. Obviously, it's going, day by day here. Everything changes. We're going to definitely be back next week to recap everything that happened in Saudi Arabia, and we'll probably have some more news on Austin Owens and Cody Rhodes. Hopefully, Alexa Bliss has won the Chamber then as the number one contender. But
damn right.
Coming up next is, well, our show that we recorded during Raw yesterday.
It's a good show. It's a solid show.
Solid show. We talk about a lot of financial implications for WWE. We talk about the Elimination Chamber, which looks to be a good show. And we talk about Brock Lesnar on the Pat McAfee show, which if you haven't seen it, YouTube it.
And I give all praise to Charlotte Flair again, but that's not shocking to anybody.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the preview. And here is our show. Welcome to the How We Know podcast, part of the Morgan You Know's podcast network. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Hot Rod. Rod, how are you today?
I'm excited. I'm fired up. We are recording on Valentine's Day, the day after the Super Bowl. I mean, if you're not happy on a day like today, Jimmy, something's wrong with you.
It's a pretty good week to be a sports fan. Last week we had the huge NBA trade deadline, all those moves taking place. We had the Super Bowl. We have Raw tonight. We have SmackDown. We have the Elimination Chamber. What more can you ask for? Oh, we got something, Rod. We got a wrestling promo to start the Super Bowl. What world are we living in?
We're living in a good world where it is good to be a wrestling fan. We have news about AEW. We have WWE Premium Live event around the corner. And oh yeah, the biggest television event in the world thought, you know what we need to crank this up a notch, what we need to get people more fired up, what we need that is the one person that can bring all of us together in this divided world. We need Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to come out here and do a G-rated version of all the promos Rocky cut in his wrestling days, but we're going to put him right on the field and we're going to have him get the crowd even more fired up. And it's a huge day for wrestling. All right. Whether you like The Rock, don't like The Rock, whether you want to make fun of his shirt, whether you want to say it was cheesy, it was a huge day for wrestling, and us as wrestling junkies should be excited about it.
Like, they were doing the kickoff and they're like, no. Wait, The Rock's going to come out. So you just know your role. Rock's going to come out, then we'll kick the ball.
Exactly.
I thought it was amazing that they did that. Whatever. You got to do what you got to do to get as many eyes on your product as possible. I don't know if it was possible to do that with the Super Bowl, but I digress. We start off the Super Bowl with a wrestling promo. We're going to start off our show with a couple of news and notes, and then we're going to get to the Premium Live event from Saudi Arabia, the Elimination Chamber.
They've trained me so well. I'm saying only Premium Live event now. Even when we're not recording on the podcast and I'm just talking to people in random life, I'm saying Premium Live event.
So as part of the build-up for Raw tonight, which is in Indianapolis, it's about 5 miles, about 10 miles.
Which actually,
from my
you know
house.
what? I do so many apologies anymore on these episodes, Jim, but I just try to keep it real for the listeners. That's my bad. I should have paid more attention to the calendar. It's my birthday on Wednesday. I could have easily cashed in a birthday present and been down there with you, and we could have been in Raw in person, and just, Jimmy, that's on me. That's me, and I apologize to you and the listeners, because frankly, with Raw being this close to me, I should have been there.
Well, that's okay, and obviously I should have been there too, but my children would have killed me, and they're not going to Raw that's 8 to 11 p.m. on a school night. I'm sorry. That's a little late, so can't do that to them. But Pat McAfee, well, we both know I'm a huge fan of his show, and he's obviously a color commentator on SmackDown as well. And he had, Rod, one of the best interviews I have ever seen and heard in my life today, with none other than Cowboy Brock Lesnar was in the Pat McAfee show. Rod, if I were to tell you that these three things happened, and you got to tell me one thing that didn't happen. Because you haven't seen this, correct?
Correct. I have not. I'm excited because what McAfee is great at is he mixes people at ease. Okay, so people are completely at ease with McAfee. And now, is he a Mike Wallace, Morley Safer interviewee? Probably not. But people feel incredibly comfortable with him, so he is able to get things out of people. So I'm excited to hear my choices here. I don't believe anything could be said, so I'm going to have a tough time.
So one of these things did not happen. Brock Lesnar rode a tricycle today. Brock Lesnar said the Lord's Prayer today. Brock Lesnar sang one of the guys happy birthday today. And finally, Brock Lesnar broke a table today. Two of those things didn't happen.
All right, I'm going to guess that he rode a tricycle. I'm going to guess that he rode a tricycle because that's just A1 comedy material, putting somebody that large on a tricycle. That's going to get a laugh every time. And I'm also going to believe that he broke a table because, I mean, that's just wrestling lore right there. So I'm going to go with those two as the things that he actually did. Even though you could definitely convince me he was singing to somebody because he's been in quite the jovial mood every time he cuts his promos these days.
Rod, he said the Lord's Prayer.
Was he quoting the Metallica song, or was he doing the real Lord's Prayer?
He was saying the Lord's Prayer. He and McAfee. Lesnar was on fire today. It was like he was just one of the boys in there. He did not sing Happy Birthday. He was not on a tricycle. He accidentally broke a table and then just completely broke the table. Just with his bare hands. He threw a set of headphones at the very end up in the rafters. He was doing all of the Pat McAfee shtick. The what type thing. He would play around with them. He was there promoting Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia, and then also some seasoning that he does. But Rod,
I'm sorry, some seasoning, like
some like steak seasoning. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, he talked about he hunts so much in his land in Canada that he's like, I need a butcher shop. So he made a butcher shop. He just created one, and now he's learning on YouTube how to butcher meat. And he got with some guys that he watched on YouTube. Yada yada yada. They're making stuff. It was an amazing interview, and it was the Brock Lesnar that we're kind of seeing a little bit more now. A little bit more outgoing, a little more funny. It's working, dude. It is working. I'm all in.
Yeah, babyface Brock. I mean, who knew that Brock Lesnar, who people used to get so angry about when he would pop back in because guys like you would say, same old, we've seen this out of Lesnar before. We're definitely getting something new out of Lesnar in a world where we need a babyface. I don't think I would have put my money on Brock Lesnar, but that's who's saving us right now.
Also, during the interview, he had a lot of things to say. He had a lot to say about Vince McMahon and about Dana White. So he did kind of go real in there, but he also had something to say about the younger generation of wrestlers. And this is a quote, and I really want to kind of get into this a little bit. He said,
for our more casual out there, Jimmy, who are we talking about, right? Where's the age division? Who are the old wrestlers that we see on Raw on a constant basis, and who is this young crowd that he may be talking about?
I don't think he cares. But it's Lesnar, it's Edge, it's Randy Orton. It's Goldberg, Undertaker.
So is Rollins sort of in the middle there with Reigns? They're considered more the middle breed, and then there's guys.
I would think they're still the younger generation. I think.
Okay.
I think
I'm just trying to figure out who exactly he might be throwing shade at because I feel like we're about to get some shade here.
Oh well, you'll hear right here in this quote. He goes, "Get over. Figure out how to effing put asses in the seats. Not worry about your next high spot. Figure out how the hell I can be different. How I can make money." So that's his quote. And I want to hear your feedback on that. Do you think that applies to the younger generation? And is that something the younger generation can do?
I mean, it's absolutely something they can do, right? I mean, I'll put it to you this way: Russell Westbrook can change right now. For me to go to the NBA on you real quick, like I often do. Russell Westbrook can change, right? He can move a little bit more off the ball. He can try to improve his free throw shooting and his 3-point shooting, and try to be more of the player that the Lakers need. But will he? No, I highly doubt that, right? So I think everything that Brock is talking about here is something these younger generation can do, but are they willing to do it? I would side more with Lesnar these days. I hate sounding like the old guy here that just says, "Oh, angry at clouds, get off my lawn," but I work with quite a few 20-year-olds. I interact with quite a few more on just a customer basis, as in they're on my mail route, and yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if they quite have it. They awfully seem to think that things are just supposed to come to them because, well, why wouldn't they? And I don't know that that's how it works. And it makes things tough in the wrestling business because I think Brock's absolutely right. Every single person that all of these youngsters grew up idolizing had to do so much work to get to the point where then they were idolized. And I just don't think the younger generation quite understands it. But I could be wrong because I'm not a wrestler.
Oh, you're wrong. Because here's what I'm thinking. How can a wrestler in WWE right now, a new wrestler, a young wrestler, get over when they were already over, let's say, I don't know, in NXT, and then they're brought up to the main roster and they change everything and push them away and push them down. So they're trying to be different. They're trying to get money, but then they're saddled with these horrible gimmicks. Karrion Kross, perfect example.
But are we sure that he could really get over? Is what I would respond back with, right?
He was over. He and Scarlett had a fantastic entrance. They had a fantastic duo. Their matches were fine. He's good on the mic. They took care of everything. They brought him up. No Scarlett, new mask, loses first match. How is someone supposed to get over when they're given that?
I love this conversation right now. I do, and I'm sorry if I'm going to take us on a bit of a tangent here, but I promise we'll get back to what we want to do, right? But this comes up for me in the NBA as well, right? You just hear these guys so often, vibes. I want vibes. I want to feel good. I want to be where I'm at and where I can be my best and all this, that, that. Whatever happened to rules? Whatever happened to regulations? Whatever happened to, you know what, this is kind of how things work around here, and you need to figure out a way to work within that system. I'm not going to upend and completely change my system to fit you just because you seem to have a little bit of talent. There's a lot of guys that have rolled through here that have talent, and some of them were able to figure it out and work within the boundaries of the organization, and others weren't. Am I so wrong for thinking that, Jim?
I think there is no organization, though. That's the issue. They don't have a plan. There's no playbook, if you will. It's, we're going to do this. We're going to do that way. We're going to, you know what? Put a mask on. Oh, you know what? Those chunks don't work. Oh, you need a new last name. Oh, you don't need a last name. There's no direction right now. It changes all the time, and that's got to be super frustrating for people. You know, you use the NBA for an example. Russell Westbrook knew what he was going into. He knew LeBron James and Anthony Davis were on the team. James Harden knew that Kyrie Irving may not be the most, dependable person ever, whether it's outside of the NBA or injured.
Very generous take on Kyrie Irving by you right there. He should be giving you flowers for that take.
And Kevin Durant, Rod, here's a newsflash. Kevin Durant gets hurt sometimes. Okay? So, you have these people coming in. They know what to expect. Well, in the WWE, they have no idea what to expect.
See, I disagree. I'm going to push back against that.
They expect
the unexpected. Roman Reigns is going to be at the top. You know that Edge is going to be a guy who's going to get his pops. You know that Goldberg is going to come back every time Saudi Arabia is involved in the premium live event, right?
Of course.
So you just know that there's certain things that are going to happen. You know that if The Rock decides to deign the WWE with his presence, he's going to be the guy that gets the biggest pop, right? You know you're going to have 3 to 4 minute matches on TV regularly because that's just how you understand what the system is. I would push back against that. Now, the system that's set up, is it great? I'm not telling you that, but what I am saying is that these people understand the system which with they're asked to work in.
How do you get over if you constantly are in a 50-50 booking? Austin Theory, for example, young up-and-comer, doing his best. He's got the little selfie gimmick that's been rehashed a couple times, but he's got that going. He has the rub from Vince McMahon, and then what happens to on Raw? He jumps on. First of all, Brock Lesnar uses him as a hat rack, and then he jumps on Brock Lesnar's back, actually jumps over his back and gets Suplex City. I mean, that's not doing anything for him. That's not changing anything. That's not his fault. Okay, that's the writing. That's the booking. We're booking people to not get over. So how can you get over if you're put in a place not to?
but whatever happened to you got to crawl before you can walk, right? I mean, Roman Reigns was booed and the WWE tried to get him over and all the above for so long, right? And then something without the WWE's control, I feel like happened to him and he came back and people had softened him up for a little bit, right? I'm not advocating for more folks to get cancer, okay? But what I am saying is that there's
I'm going to make sure
wrong.
I'm going to put that in the show notes. Rod does not feel cancer gets people over. Good. Okay, got it.
But what I am saying is you need to be around, you need to put in the work, and you need to be there, and you need to go on the roller coaster, and you just never know what might happen. Did people think CM Punk was going to pop at some point? Probably not. You just never know exactly what's going to happen. You just have to be around. There's nothing wrong with putting in the work. Now, guys are getting cut, and I can't do anything about that. You got me there. But what I will say is, don't come onto the WWE and don't expect to all of a sudden be somebody who's just going to start showing up and you're going to get big time minutes in the last 20 minutes of SmackDown or Raw. That's definitely not how this is going to work.
How about get a good 5 minutes at the beginning of Raw? How about win some matches in a row? How about give Austin Theory 5 or 6 straight weeks of winning matches so it's like, hey, he could actually do something.
See, I could
He's
care
gonna be
less
the
if
first
Austin
one
Theory
out, dude.
wins, Jim. I could care less if Austin Theory wins. I just like seeing him out there and working and involved in storylines. He can lose every match as far as I'm concerned, and I understand that the guy's going to have to be there before he gets any kind of a chance to be a Sheamus or an AJ Styles or, God forbid, a Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? I understand that. I got no problem with him winning and losing. He should lose to these guys.
Well, he should lose to those guys, but he could beat other people. That's the issue. He could beat other people.
Now, there I'll agree with you. There's not enough other people for him to beat. There I'll agree with you.
That being said, WWE brought in $1.095 billion for fiscal year 2021.
See, that's what I mean. That's why my argument is so hard for me to
history
make.
of the company. So that's good. Of course, we also let a lot of people, not only talent, go because of budget cuts, but that's okay. Things can happen. But $1.095 billion, and they've got some, their next kind of TV deal is up. Hulu right now owns the rights to the next day airing, and you get about an hour and a half of Raw, and you got about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour of SmackDown. So it's kind of a pared down version. That's the next thing that's up. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. Is Peacock going to take that over? Is Amazon going to get in? You little YouTube perhaps getting in to see what they can do. And then in another couple of years, they've got the big, the rights fees, and people say they're not going to get as much. I think they're going to get a lot more for this next rights fee. So, they're doing something.
I think that I'm with you. They're going to get more for the rights fee because definitely numbers are down and they're not pulling in as big numbers as I think that the Fox people would like them to pull in, but they are pulling in bigger numbers than anything else Fox can put in that spot, and that's valuable these days.
And then Vince, it has been said that Vince loves the product right now, doesn't see any issues. So if you're like me and just doesn't like to see over and over and over and over and over and over again, then... well, we're going to be disappointed. Something that wasn't disappointing, we had a debut on Dynamite. Keith Lee made his debut on Dynamite, and it was pretty cool. Did you get a chance to watch that?
I did not.
Okay. So Keith Lee was looking a little bit bigger than he had been. He just got married here recently to Mia Yim. He's been out of wrestling for, 90 days. But he made his comeback.
Bigger or smaller than 50 Cent in the halftime show?
Well, I mean, a little bit smaller than that. No. I think it's still funny how people are like, why was he upside down? It was for the video. It was a while ago. You should have. Yeah.
It's because it's Shorty's birthday. I always thought it had to do something with Shorty's birthday, right? Isn't that what he says in the song?
I believe so. But he threw Isaiah Cassidy about 50 feet in the air, about 10 feet in the air, and about 20 feet across the ring. That was awesome. There was a couple of really cool power moves. He's got to get his ring rust off a little bit there. But he was over more in this match, Rod, than he was ever over in WWE main roster after he was brought up as Bearcat.
Of course he is,
They're
Jim.
just letting him be, because they're letting him be him. They're not, oh, you're a big guy, you can't do these awesome moves. You got to be able to do some. You got to let these guys be themselves. I'm sorry. And here's the thing. And we're going to go back to this because you and I definitely disagree on this, which is good for the podcast for sure. But WWE Triple H always said we have a playbook. This is the WWE's playbook. Okay. Well, guess what? If you're Sean McVay and you have Jared Goff as your quarterback, you have a playbook, right?
Sure,
If you then bring in Matthew Stafford, you're going to change that playbook to suit Matthew Stafford, which they did. If you bring in a Kyler Murray, he doesn't have the same the same skills that Stafford does, and vice versa. You're going to change that playbook to get the best out of the people you have. Matt Nagy for the Bears never changed his playbook no matter who the quarterback was, and now Matt Nagy is not on the Bears anymore. He's not the coach anymore.
Matt Nagy.
Okay? It's very simple. You bring in people, you use their strengths, you highlight their strengths, you hide their weaknesses, and you get a great product. Now, you can work on their weaknesses. That's fine, but you need to emphasize their strengths, and that's what AEW has been doing right now. Are they bringing a lot of people in? Yes. A lot of different storylines going on? Yes. But it's fun, Rod. It's fun.
Talk to me in 4 months would be what I say. I'm not gonna disagree with anything that you just said. All I will say is it's awful easy to be the pop when you're the new thing. All right, when you're the new kid in town, when you're the unexpected.
They've been around for a while, dude.
Expected.
They've been around for a while.
Well, I know, but not in AEW, Jim. That's the new thing, right? Bryan Danielson being there is the new thing. CM Punk being there is the new thing. You know, I mean, they're all the new thing when they pop over there and they get a huge response and it's all cool. But talk to me, you know, when you said it's starting to get crowded and they're not necessarily the new thing on AEW anymore, and then they're like, oh, that's right, we have CM Punk and we have Bryan Danielson and we have Keith Lee and we have all these. You know, talk to me again. You're gonna have the same problem that you complain about with the WWE sooner or later over there. It's easy for you guys to get the pops and to be all excited about AEW right now, but sooner or later, all the same things you guys complain about with the Monolith are going to start infecting your plucky little upstart that you all love so much at AEW.
You're a plucky little upstart.
I got to be the one guy that pushes back against the constant AEW love. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm the bad guy wearing the black hat, fine. But it's just, you know, everybody all the time is, oh, AEW's doing it so much better. Oh, they let these guys be them. Oh,
yeah.
They let wrestlers wrestle. I mean, like, okay, fine, cool. It's all great, but it's so easy for them to be that right now because all anybody does is complain about the WWE. So it's so easy for AEW to seem cool because all anybody does is complain about the WWE. But what I contend and have said many times on this podcast is AEW doesn't even get the chance to be cool right now if WWE doesn't exist, and we should all give it its proper respect.
Of course. All right, let's talk about a premium live event, Rod. Does that sound
right.
Fun? All right, premium live event from Saudi Arabia, the $60 million event that helps the books a lot there, which, you know what, if someone gives me $60 million, I'll probably go somewhere too.
I was going to say, I'll have Goldberg fight if somebody wants to give me $60 million.
So I will do a lot for that. So we've seen a lot of these now, so we know what to expect. Nothing huge as far as storylines going forward. Some decent matches, even awesome matches in some cases. But again, nothing really earth-shattering has happened in the past.
You don't think we're doing that this time, though, huh? Because I think we might. We
might get a couple things this time, but I'm going to reserve judgment. I think it's going to be a good show. Top to bottom is pretty strong, but let's kind of get right into it.
Tell the people when they can watch this one live. It's another Thursday afternoon gig, is it not?
No, it's Saturday. It's Saturday at like noon.
Oh, it's a Saturday. Okay, but it's
really not bad.
Afternoon.
It's really not bad.
All right. It's not a Thursday afternoon this time.
It's not a Thursday at like 9 a.m. For us because, of course. So we have, let's see, the Elimination Chamber this Saturday. Ronda Rousey and Naomi against Charlotte Flair and Sonya. And if you haven't seen the Naomi-Charlotte match from SmackDown, very nicely done.
That really was very nicely done, man. Charlotte Flair is the absolute queen, right? Because that's me. I understood that Naomi wrestled her ass off in that match too, but Charlotte Flair is what made that match possible. Charlotte Flair being who she is what made that match, and people be on the edge of their seat every time the ref got to 2. God bless Charlotte Flair.
So happy Ronda and Naomi against Flair and Sonya. I'm going to go Flair and Sonya on this one. I think they're going to get the win.
Yeah, I hate always agreeing with you on these, but I just don't see a scenario in which Naomi and Ronda Rousey beat Charlotte in the WWE official right now at Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, we're going to have Rousey and Flair at Mania, and that's when she's going to hopefully get the belt. But you never know. I mean, things can change. The SmackDown titles, we have the Usos against the Viking Raiders. We've seen this combination over the past couple of weeks. We're going to have a good match, solid match overall, but I don't see the Usos losing this one.
Yeah, I keep thinking to myself, when are we going to have the Usos lose? But, you know, I kind of hope that it's probably going to be the Street Profits again at some point, possibly. So that's kind of what I'm holding out hope for. And also, you build up the Viking Raiders as these guys who just pillage and raid, and then the Usos just kind of sneak up out of nowhere and hit them with a couple of forearms, and they're just laying down and they can't. Oh my goodness, we just got attacked by the Usos out of nowhere with forearms. That's strained credulity a little bit. I mean, I get the attack out of nowhere, but the Usos should have had some chairs or something.
Something a little more than that. And then, hey, your boy Madcap Moss against Drew McIntyre.
So we are going to still get that. I wondered if we were going to keep dancing around a little bit more with that one, with the whole doctor visit that he tried to go to. I wondered if we were going to see something else again on SmackDown on Friday, and maybe that won't happen. And if it did, is it going to be the pre-show?
I don't know if there's a pre-show for this one. I would think that this would have to be this might be the second to last match the way they book stuff, because it's kind of it's going to be a quick. This is going to be like a 2-minute match. I have a feeling.
So I mean, this is because we're getting Corbin and McIntyre at WrestleMania, and then
I believe so. Yeah, that'll be like a day one, second, third match on the card, maybe.
All right. I mean, they're definitely building Corbin up, and I like seeing my boy out there again. He's happy. He's undefeated since he won the jackpot. But I don't know. I'm reserving judgment on Madcap Moss right now. But of course, there's no way he beats Drew McIntyre.
Not at all. Women's Elimination Chamber match to see who's going to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania.
So that was going to be my question to you. I was a little unclear as to what exactly was at stake in the Women's Elimination Chamber. But whoever wins this faces Becky, huh?
I believe that's what they said, yes. But honestly, it could have changed. But yeah, that's what it is. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, and a mystery person so far. We don't know yet as of this recording.
Okay, but who are your Meltzerites saying it's going to be?
I don't know. If Edge was on here, I'd say the wife, but I don't think. I have no idea. Alexa Bliss.
That's what I wonder. I mean, because they're giving us a bunch of airtime with Alexa and her therapist. Do we know this therapist, by the way? Has he ever showed up before?
I haven't caught most of the therapy segments. I can't remember.
All right. I half wondered about him. I mean, he's not completely yoked up or anything, but I did kind of wonder if we'd ever seen this dude before.
They've brought back some therapists in the day multiple times, but we'll see. So.
What about Asuka? Are we any closer to Asuka? Is the other reason I want to talk about this mystery person. I'm ready for the Empress of Tomorrow to be back anytime soon.
It would be WWE to debut her at noon on a Saturday in Saudi Arabia. Asuka wouldn't be too bad. Asuka and Becky, but then Becky would have to win because Asuka's won the last two against her.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we're clearly rolling with Big Time Bex winning for a little while, don't you?
I think so, because I think they want Ronda and her to go at it again, which they should. I mean, that's the big money thing there. I don't know. This is going to be tough. Do you do Bianca and Becky at Mania?
No.
I mean, it's probably the best match. Rhea is still kind of a tweener type. Some
what they're doing. You know what they're doing to Rhea Ripley, Jimmy? Rhea Ripley is Raw's female version of Big E right now. Is essentially what they're doing to Rhea Ripley.
Except she never got a title run like that. I mean, she did, but
she had the belt for a bit. But you know what I mean. But once they took it from her, they're just kind of like, yeah, we now know absolutely nothing to do with you, but you're still kind of a badass, so we're gonna have you around, but we really have no idea what to do with you.
I mean, because
that's who I'd love to see that match. I'd love to see Rhea Ripley win that match, but she's not going to. I don't
think so. I mean, she had a pretty good run today in the Gauntlet, but
I think Liv might win that match.
Really?
I really do. I got to go with my namesake here on this one, Jim. I just why else are we pushing Liv Morgan? I mean, she still has a terrible record.
For Mania, though.
Listen, okay, we dance around this so often because we love the ladies, all right? Let me quote Brian Fantana here. We love the ladies, all right? We're all for equality here, but we still know that things can be a tad bit old school at times because it's still the chairman running it, right? So I have a hard time not believing that Vince isn't like, I need Liv Morgan to be a huge star, all right? Because I see let me borrow the young people's, the thirst trap comments that are anytime a picture of Liv Morgan is up on Twitter, right? I think Vince knows that. I think they want Liv Morgan to be a thing. So I could see in this kind of a match where it's not for the belt, it's in Saudi Arabia, I could see Liv Morgan coming out on top here.
I'm so glad I don't know what thirst trap picture or whatever you just said means. I'm so glad I'm an old.
See, but you're going to have to start knowing these things because your kids are going to be surfing the social media webs before too long, and you're going to have to know these things, Jimmy.
So Bianca won tonight, right? So that kind of tells me she's not going to win the chamber. So that kind of defeats the purpose.
And Bianca's I talk about this. This is one of my stalking horses here on the wrestling show. But Bianca Belair is that person that she's fine. Bianca Belair's a badass. She's over. Everybody loves Bianca Belair. You can do almost anything you want with her, and it doesn't really matter. She's over.
Yeah, correct. And honestly, Rhea and Bianca could do something at Mania together.
Absolutely, that'd be a great
All
match.
right,
I'm
going mystery person.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. I'm going mystery person.
I'm going Liv Morgan, but your bet of mystery person is good there. Why else are they giving us that if it's not somebody who could win?
So Doudrop it is. Okay, let's go to Universal title, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. Goldberg, I believe, has been back for about 6 years now and has wrestled a combined total of 42 minutes in all of his matches.
But he swears to us this time that this is different, Jim. He's not just coming back for a quick match in Saudi Arabia. This time it's for real, right? Isn't that what he told us in his interview?
Sure. That's what he said. He's also playing a character. Roman Reigns is winning this match. Now, could Lesnar interfere and cost him the belt like Reigns cost him the belt? Wouldn't it be funny if neither of them were champions and they just went in and beat the hell out of each other at WrestleMania?
But then we'd have to have Goldberg wrestle at WrestleMania, would we not?
Well, yeah.
You don't want that, do you?
No.
I think we might see a title change hands in Saudi Arabia, but I don't think it's going to be in the Universal title match.
No,
I think it could possibly be in the WWE title match.
Reigns has to win this, right?
Yeah, definitely Reigns. Here's the question with this match. Everybody knows Reigns is winning this match. Here's the question. Does Goldberg wrestle for longer than 10 minutes? That's the question.
Oh, God, no.
Does he wrestle for longer than 5 minutes?
Yes. I would put the over-under at 6:31.
So he does not clear 8 minutes. So let me back off from the 10. He does not clear 8 minutes.
I'm thinking honestly it's around 7, between 7 and 8. So it could be like I would say no more than 8:15.
All right, so 8:15 would be the tough number by Vegas.
Yeah.
All right, well there you go. So Goldberg is back. Yay, great, wonderful. Like let me ask you this. Okay, here's the last Goldberg question I have for you. How much of the pops that are definitely muted for Goldberg but still seem popish, how much of those are created by the WWE and how much of that is just WWE fans doing it almost half-heartedly and joking? Or are people still excited to see Goldberg?
When you're at a live event, heck, if Goldberg came at a live event for me, I'd probably pop for it because, it's the music, it's the entrance and things like that. So I think it's that. It's, people like to see title changes. People like to see surprises. People like to see something different that say, hey, I was there when this happened. So I think that's more along the lines. That's why when heels win a title, there's a lot of cheering as well, just because, oh, wow, we saw that,
Yeah, that's true. But there are some heels, though, because we talk about this often, though, too. There's some heels that are just, they're just magnetic and you're just drawn to them. AKA your Seth Rollins, right?
Mm-hmm. By the way, Kevin Owens just did a scathing promo on the state of Texas and doesn't want to be on the WrestleMania card. So I have a feeling Kevin Owens is either going to get A, tombstone, B, a stunner, or C, both in Texas at WrestleMania. Just throwing that out there.
I like a lot of heat from our guy KO recently. A lot of mic
love
time.
KO.
He's doing. KO. Love what he's doing. Not really sure where we're headed, but love what he's doing.
Raw Women's Championship, Lita is back against Becky Lynch. And I cannot remember. I think last year they actually the women wrestled in some kind of gear. I don't think they had to wear the full thing.
No, but it was like a weird t-shirt. It's kind of like an oversized t-shirt kind of thing.
Yeah. So Lita and Becky Lynch. Honestly, this is kind of a dream match. Lita's older now, hasn't been wrestling as much. Becky Lynch is at the top of her game, but I think they're going to have a pretty decent match together, and I think, definitely Lita wins, right? I'll put Becky Lynch down for both of us.
So let's have the Becky Lynch conversation then.
Sure.
Where are we at with Becky Lynch right now, Jim? Where are we at with Becky Lynch right now? Do you like Big Time Bex? Do you find Big Time Bex funny? Do you find it intriguing? Do you find her, where are we at with Big Time Bex?
I like this Lita thing more than I had the previous, the dewdrop and the big glasses and things like that. She's kind of gotten a little bit more serious, which I like more, but she is a baby face through and through. She wanted to be a heel. She's doing the best she can. I just don't know if it was the best time for her to do that. You know, I'm kind of over the big glamorous type things. Not as over as Ric Flair is. Ric Flair hates Becky Lynch. I understand that. But she's okay. I like to see her more realistic, you know, as, you know, hardcore type of person other than the flamboyant type.
I just think it's awfully hard right now, and I'm going to praise All Queen to, speaking of Ric Flair, his daughter Charlotte here, but it's just awfully hard to try to pull off the heel female I'm the best gimmick right now with 13-time champion Charlotte Flair just dominating people left and right, and just frankly her promos are better, right? Her promos are better. She's better at standing there. How dare you? She's just better at it than Becky Lynch is, and I'm going to let the listeners in on something you told me. Oh, great. Ronda Rousey's a heel, and so's Becky Lynch, and so's Charlotte Flair. Like, that's a problem. You know what I mean? Like, that's a problem. We can't have the three biggest, baddest women stars in the company all trying to fight each other to be the number one heel. It's not going to work.
And it's not working. They had to sit Ronda down and say, listen, I know you're mad at people for booing you. It's cool. Be a good guy now. So I think it'll be a solid matchup. I think they're going to give him a little bit of time, but I think that Lynch does end up winning this one.
Yeah, and I mean, are we to believe that this happened because Lita, like, she popped at Rumble more than people thought? Was this something they had presupposed out? I mean, I don't know. I'm not as excited about Lita coming back. We just kind of trashed Goldberg, and we're just sort of letting Lita off the hook here.
Well, but Lita doesn't come back all the time, and Lita will definitely wrestle a lot more than Goldberg, and is a lot better wrestler than Goldberg. Always has been, always will be. No, this was I think in the plans. This was in the plans because they know Lita gets over pretty big.
And she is how old? I mean, again, I know this is not the greatest thing to talk about women's age, but she is how old getting ready to wrestle this match?
Oh, she's got to be. What is she? She's got to be upper 40s, I would say. So, okay, 46. So she's 46. So
okay, all right. So I figured she was probably in her upper 40s, so she could still probably go. I hope we see a pretty good match between them because, of course, you're right. Lita brings excitement. I mean, you know, we all remember those early Hardy days when she was lightning in a ring.
Oh, yeah, it was fantastic. Essa Rios as well. Don't forget her, him. Elimination Chamber. Here we go, Rod. Austin Theory. Seth freaking Rollins, your boy.
Love Seth freaking Rollins.
Bobby Lashley, the champion.
Love Bobby Lashley. This is a huge shift for me, but love Bobby Lashley.
Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate. Matt Riddle. And AJ Styles.
I love that the Phenomenal One is in this match, right? Because I don't want us to forget about the Phenomenal One because he is an excellent wrestler and he is also the Vanimal's favorite wrestler. And he is somebody who wrestled against the Phenom, right? Anybody who's wrestled the Phenom deserves to get some respect in the WWE. So I'm glad that he's in this match, but there's no chance AJ Styles is walking out of this elimination.
And I hope over the past year or so his body's had a chance to heal and all these tag matches and tag programs are doing. And he's looking for a really big run or something like that in 2022. I think that would be cool. But yeah, he's not winning. Austin Theory is not winning the championship. Matt Riddle is not winning.
I want to see Austin Theory get stomped. We brought him up earlier. I want to see Austin Theory in that match just get stomped, right? I want to see like Lashley have a run at him at one point. I want to see Lesnar just completely destroy him at one point. I want to see Rollins hammer on him. Like he needs to just get worked in that match, and that's what he needs to be in it for.
Well, someone has to be thrown around by Lesnar and Lashley, so that'll definitely happen.
But that's also Riddle. Like, that's basically Riddle's gig. Like, that's what Riddle's best at in the ring. He's like, all Riddle ever does is get hammered.
In every sense of the word, correct.
That's very true.
I think it comes down to the last two people are going to be Lesnar and Lashley. I really think so. And I think Lesnar's going to come out the champion in this one.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are we really to believe that the WWE wants belt versus belt at WrestleMania? Or are they giving us that as a deke and Bobby Lashley's going to walk out and still be the almighty?
I think if they do belt versus belt, people are going to expect the belts to be unified, but I don't think they're going to unify the belts. I think they're going to do a tournament or something afterwards. They have the firepower to end night one with Rousey and Flair. Easily. That's a big enough match to highlight the first night of WrestleMania. the Lesnar and Reigns is a big enough match to highlight the night 2. They could easily have both people lose the belts and just have them fight at Mania 2. I'm not gonna let that go. I'm not gonna let that go right now. But I think Lesnar. I think Lesnar wins. They might. I mean, they could. They could just say screw it, and Lesnar's like, I want Roman.
But you're giving them way more credit than you normally do, because that would indicate that they have some sort of a long-term plan, and you always tell us that they do not.
Well, no, that's like not a long-term plan at all. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter. He won the Rumble. Who cares? Type of thing.
I mean, I guess what I meant by that is if you're going to have other champions at WrestleMania, hopefully you got a couple of other stories in your bag that you're going to try to tell coming out of WrestleMania. If you're going to have just Charlotte and Ronda go at it with no belts and Brock and Roman go at it with no belts. That's all I meant. But of course, again, you're right. No storytelling. How dare I even think that?
How dare you? So who's going to come out, Rod? Who's going to win this one?
I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be Brock Lesnar. I really do. I think I'm with you. I think they want to go belt versus belt because that's the way that they can. They've been really hyping this stupendous thing up to the point of where they're almost getting made fun of. By even
McAfee's making fun of them.
Yeah. So I think that they kind of realize that they almost need belt versus belt on night 2 to be able to help pull that off. So I think Lesnar's walking out of here with the belt.
And that is your what are these things called, Rod?
Premium live events.
That is your premium live event, Elimination Chamber, scheduled for this Saturday. SmackDown on Friday, Rod. I hear there's a title change on Friday. Did you hear about that?
No. Is Sami Zayn going to take Shinsuke Nakamura's title?
I hear there's a title change.
So you're not willing to tell the folks, huh? Look at you. You're good to the people. You're going to do no spoilers here on the Yeah We Know podcast, Jimmy. I appreciate that.
Exactly. So what do we got coming up this week from Balls and Brew, the Morgan You Know? What's going on, bud?
I think we will do mostly just kind of wrap up Super Bowl stuff with Mr. Williams. He loves talking about the coaching decisions, so we'll get his thoughts on a few of the decisions made and not made in Super Bowl 56. And then we'll touch on the NBA, and maybe we'll even have you on to touch on the NBA with old Chris and I. We need somebody else on there to mediate the fights that Chris and I always seem to get in about the NBA as we're approaching the All-Star break here this weekend.
Yeah, let me tell you, I have so many thoughts on this trade deadline and all these everything going on. So definitely want to get on there. We'll have a Yeah We Know podcast hopefully beginning of next week, going over the Elimination Chamber and see where they're going from there. We should have a really clear road to WrestleMania after that. And
we got the Oscars around the corners. I wanted to drop that in for folks as well. Oscars are always big here at the Morgan You Know universe. I will admit that my dauber is down about the Oscars a little bit this year, like everybody else, because the movie business is so convoluted and messed up. But we're still going to do our best to try to talk about the nominations ahead of the Oscars. So any folks out there that enjoy our Oscars coverage, we know the movies now. I'm going to start trying to watch, what is it, like The Power of the Dog is a big one.
Sure. I don't know. Is Spider-Man? Is that in there?
I mean, you probably got your sound editing and your special effects and your things of that nature, but I don't think it was nominated for Best Picture, no.
What about Nope?
And that's not out yet.
I know. I just wanted to say it because I think it's the greatest title ever.
People were excited about that one, but I like to give people little teasers, right? I kept telling people Bonfire of the Vanities, and then I paid that one off. So Oscars will be around the corner. So try to do your best to watch those if that's something you like. We got plenty of things available for you here at the Morgan You Know Podcast Network and over at themorganyouknow.com, where don't forget you can check in on the Mrs. Morgan You Know's My Ambitions as a Writer blog.
You have been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast. You're in the ring with Jimmy and Hot Rod.
I want to come back and again try to grasp a hold of this thread that I have started ever since I came to the Yeah We Know podcast. The Rock showed up at the Super Bowl, and the reason The Rock showed up at the Super Bowl is because he is then going to follow it up by showing up at WrestleMania. So never fear, The Rock still is coming to WrestleMania. I'm going to cling onto that with my cold, dead hands, to quote Charlton Heston.